Well, hey there, friendlies. How's up? It's Tuesday night, which means it is the 16th of December this week edition of the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft, where we got us some bevies, we got blades, and we will, in fact, be talking about something bushcraft related tonight. In fact, what we're going to be talking about is survival in films, in movies. Going to be heavily dependent on your opinions tonight. I see very few movies ever since I've had kids. I've seen a few though, and Hollywood is uneven when it comes to anything, to believable depictions of anything at all. So, feel free to, give a little opinion or two. But before I do that, before we get into that, I want to do the weekly housekeeping. That's the part where I say that if you are in fact watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whenever, thank you for your eyes. Thank you for your ears. Thank you for the comments that you occasionally drop in the doobly-doo. Even though you cannot participate in this chitty make chat right here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Still makes me feel like it's all worthwhile when I see names and people kicking back with me after the fact. I'm just turning off the Wi-Fi here to make sure that we don't get all buffery and all that stuff. As you guys know, the Wi-Fi is a constant effort around here. One day, I will get it squared away. One beautiful day. One day of days. So before we get into our convo, at 8:47, Country Boy popped in with It's Tuesday, and it is in fact Tuesday. Country Boy is a channel mod and a channel hero, and 8:47 was literally when I hit, post for the to schedule this thing. So he was on the ball. So guys, I'm just getting comfy here. Yeah, I have a little got my cardigan here just in case I get cold. Put a cardigan on, be all like, back in my day, we didn't have heaters. So yeah, hi Country Boy. Popping in right after Country Boy saying hi is Christy. Christy is also a channel hero. She's also currently got a little #1 crown on, people. Saying hi to both of us. Christy says we're almost halfway through the week. Yep, you're right. Tomorrow we'll be at the halfway point. Excuse me. And then, sorry guys, my sinuses are again driving me crazy tonight. Mr. Peanut Trucker popping in right afterwards. Excuse me. Mr. Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so be nice or get the road hammer dropped upon you. Okay, everyone's just sort of saying hi to one another here. Peanut Trucker says no snow here. Heat wave going on after then 3 days below zero. Where? Oh, you're in Pennsylvania. Parked in Pennsylvania. That's a bushcraft state. They have what's it called? Woodland? They've got like a bushcraft weekend every year in Pennsylvania somewhere. If I'm ever allowed to cross the border, maybe I'd like to go. Outdoor Dauber is down there, and he goes every year. Canadian popping in with the usual string O emojis. How you doing tonight, Canadian? Canadian is currently got the #2 crown, which leaves Mr. Peanut Trucker with #3. Sorry, guys. Then we got Mr. Marcus, who is a channel hero, saying happy Tuesday to everyone and all. Happy Christmas, everybody. And then I'm scrolling to see who's next. Who's popping in with us right now? There are 13 people kicking back. Who's got a thumbs up for me? Who's been dropping me a thumbs up? Country Boy has been ill. That's sorry to hear that. Sorry, I was also ill. Hey, we got Mr. Paul here. How you doing tonight? Oh man, my sinus. Give me a break. How's it going, Paul? I just want to sort of make sure that I get to see. Hey, Destiny's here. Destiny still has not changed her name. Oh, I've got an advert playing. Who else has an ad? How late am I? Right now it's 21:06, and Fitze was at 21:02. So I'm okay. I'm not too far behind just yet. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Marcus has been bad at his house too. He's made 2 rounds to our family. So I got kind of sick after my company's end of year party. Nothing too bad. I mean, I did feel kind of garbagey. I had to take a day off. But I'm okay now. I'm just run down. It's it's the part of the year where I feel run down even at the best of times. And I've been sort of going all out. So I've taken some days off between now and January. I'm off as of the 18th until the next time I'm at work is the 6th of January, just because I need to kick back. I'm a little tired, boys and girls, friends, neighbors, brothers, sisters. A little tired. Charles and Annie popped in for a few seconds, heading out in a few minutes. All right. Well, thanks for popping in with us. Charles and Annie. Man, when YouTube changed everyone's names on them, that really, man, some of these names are in need of being put back right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there's Sean in Alaska. How are you doing? How's you doing? What's the weather like up there? I saw a couple of posts. You got that stove going? So can I? And there's Mr. Hike with Mike. How's the weather down in Florida tonight, Mike? You having a warm night or kind of a cold night? Destiny, I feel the same whenever I have to use my phone. It's like, and you can't at anyone properly. YouTube has to fix that pronto. That's got to be fixed, like right now. Peanut Trucker is doing the God's good work, saying hit that thumbs up because there's a hammer close by, road hammer coming on. Mr. Bluegrass Bigfoot, the renamed Bluegrass Bigfoot, how you doing? How are things down there today? Is it warm or cold? Marcus says he's slowing down. His fingers are getting fatter as he age, and his eyes are going to the crapper as well. Yeah, my eyes aren't what they used to be. That's for damn sure. Let me see. Okay, have we got anyone? Oh, we got Grace Martin in the house as well. How you doing? I hope the weather is not treating you too badly. Sean in Alaska is having a truly stout from Denali Brewing Company tonight. We're having it at 0. That's 0 Fahrenheit, I imagine. Yeah, I would call that cold. I call that cold. I was watching a play once that takes place in Montreal around late 70s. And one of the characters, he was an old sort of derelict guy, and he takes a $2 coin out of his pocket, and he's like, "I remember when this was paper money. I remember when this is worth." And he said, "Back then, 32 degrees was cold. Now 32 degrees is hot." I mean, I'm totally paraphrasing it, but it was a great line that sort of shows what an entire generation of Canadians kind of felt for a long time, Marcus is asking, Sean, how many hours do you figure you're getting on a tank? I have 2 of those, and I love them, but mine run at full power all the time. We're talking about the Oh, hold on. Oh, Hike with Mike says, sorry, I skipped one. Hike with Mike says, just chilling tonight, listening to Florida music. Tom Petty, may he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. I did not know how good a guitar player that guy was until I came across a video of a live show where he sort of swung into this absolute burner of a solo, and I did not know that. I had always seen Tom Petty as kind of, three chords and the truth kind of thing, but I was very impressed. He was very good. I did not know that at all. David the Instigator saying hi. Oh, come on. There we go. Nope. David the Instigator saying hi to one and all. How are you doing tonight, David? Are you, where are you tonight? Are you already down there? Okay, I have caught up with the chat. So let's talk about survival in movies. I invite, I open the floor. Anyone can mention any movie that they like. Here's the thing. What's a movie that you think did a good job versus a movie that did a terrible job? Now, David the Instigator on on the Discords dropped a list that he had found somewhere. That is sort of split up into wilderness/nature survival. Then there's like water and ocean survival, cold and extreme conditions, or post-apocalyptic. Now, you guys know post-apocalypse is my jam, but not all post-apocalyptic shows or movies actually go into the survival aspect of just trying to stay alive. I mean, aside from shooting zombies or, whatever. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. This is not what I was. Everything just jumped on me. I'm going to find. So Marcus and Sean in Alaska are talking about how many tanks of gas he uses to keep the place, to keep himself from, freezing in the dark kind of thing. David is in Florida tonight. Okay. So you're down there for the duration, I guess. I hope you stay safe. Mike says, I love Tom Petty's song, Southern Accents. It's a beautiful song from Tom Petty. Was the Springsteen of Florida. Oh, it's a beautiful song. Full stop. Tom Petty was the Springsteen of Florida, in your opinion. I think as close as Montreal comes to having a Springsteen of Florida is we had Leonard Cohen. I mean, there are other artists from Montreal, but nobody. I don't know of anyone from Montreal who became as big as Leonard Cohen did. That may be a generational thing. I don't know if he's big anymore, but I mean, for years and years and years, he was very, very big. Beto, how are you doing, Mr. Beto? How's the weather in Brazil? There's a kids show on Netflix that Clem watches all the time. That's actually, it's dubbed, but it's a Brazilian show. It's about an indigenous kid who runs away from something and ends up sort of, I guess, hiding out in a private school. Excuse me, a private elementary school. Sean in Alaska is actually interfacing with the. You thought Jeremiah Johnson did a good job on survival. What does everyone thought about that? What does everyone thought? Loving the grammar there. Jeremiah Johnson. I'm just thinking because I don't remember. I mean, I know that was old, like my age old, but I don't remember who was in that. So just let me look it up. Was that? Robert Redford. Right. I barely remember that. I barely remember that. Like I don't remember it enough to have an actual opinion on it, but you know what? Maybe I'll mark that down as something to watch again. I'm gonna mark it down. Sorry. Oh, my sinuses are killing me. So, when you said it did a good job, do you mean it was really entertaining, or do you think that it did like a realistic job, or was on the realistic side for certain things? Oh, did I actually show that comment? Jeremiah Johnson did a good job on survival. I even remember seeing this poster somewhere. I mean, probably like in a book or something. Hold on. It was entered into the 1972 Cannes Film Festival on May 7th and was later released on December 21st, 1972 by Warner Brothers. The film received very positive reviews from critics and was a box office success, earning 44.7 mil against a budget of 3.1 mil, making it the fifth highest grossing film of 72. Now, look, those are pre-Reagan dollars and everything, right? Excuse me. But it still doesn't seem like a super expensive movie. That's one where he's like a mountain man or a trapper or something, isn't it? And he came home from I don't remember. I'll look it up. Like I'll watch it. Okay, everyone's back to saying hi. Everyone's saying hi. Oh, you know what, David? I also have to send Sean my Christmas tree photo. I will send that. David went to see Graceland. Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Robert Redford, yeah. Yeah. Yes. You're a good man. Yes, it is. Next to it, which I hadn't realized was there is my Christmas malt for this year, which I did a video on, and I'm going to put it up. So I kind of don't want to show it or taste it right now, but yes, that is in fact, I think that's what I'm going to have. Oops, that's what I'm going to have this eve. Have you had that one, Paul? Took them a week to get down there. They also stopped in Paducah, Kentucky, the USA quilt capital. Have we had this conversation? Was it on one of my cocktail streams? I do love a quilt. I really do love a quilt. When I see a quilt, no matter, it could have been finished yesterday, and it still looks like my childhood to me. Like I'm back at the Unitarian Church in Winnipeg, and the ladies have finished, their last quilts, and there's something really older about quilting to me. Something kind of frontier, I guess, or no, I don't want to say old world like I'm back in Ukraine or anything like that. I mean old world in they seem pre-modern or timeless, or the kind of thing you could see in a trapper's cabin. The trapper didn't make the quilt, obviously, but maybe he's got a daughter or a mother who made it for him and gave it to him and said, "Stay warm in the winter." Love a nice quilt. One day, when I have made it, I will commission a quilt. There is Mr. Russell. How are you doing, Russell? We have I asked what people thought were their favorite movies with survival in, and so far, well, provided I'm only like 4 minutes late, but so far only Sean in Alaska has bit, and he brought up Jeremiah Johnson from 1972, which I admit I have very, very faint memories of, so I cannot be a judge. But I think he's a trapper or something. I don't remember that film. I don't remember The Deer Hunter either, for instance. Like, I'm gonna write that down again. I should see that film again. I don't mean in terms of survival. I just mean like it's a film that just popped into my head that I don't remember. You know, because I've seen it once as a much younger person, kind of thing. Destiny says, "I love Ray more, but hello, Russell." Oh, okay, yeah. Ask him about the fire. Ask him about the fire. Show offs. I would love to have a wood burning stove like right in that corner, warming me up, warming up the whole family, the whole house. Get one of those little fans that you put on it from Lee Valley. Okay, you have. Okay, perfect. Because Paul, during my cocktail stream, there was a whiskey I brought up that you haven't tried yet, and I've been trying to remember what the hell it was. What the hell it was? Was it the Nika from the barrel? Destiny says Goose Down Quilt's grandparents were so iconic. So, okay, I have like these. I have these bucket list things that if I can ever acquire, and I want fewer objects than I used to because I just threw a whole lot of effort behind clearing out stuff because I have been feeling owned by my stuff for years. But there are still things that like if I have one of these, I will know that I've kind of made it in certain ways. One, as I said, is a Hudson's Bay blanket. That's like the pinnacle for me. The pinnacle. Um, if I'm a bazillionaire, I'd have a single size for taking to the woods and bushcrafting with, and then like a queen or a whatever the huge one is for sort of our bed at home. You know, that's the pinnacle. Second is a quilt, like a handmade quilt, not like an AliExpress, you know, but an actual honest to goodness handmade quilt. Another is a piece of art. If I can ever walk into a gallery, see something I like, and just buy it, I will know I have made it. Made it in in a very specific context. I mean, in the fiscal way, the financial way. I don't mean in the spiritual or the human sense way. I just mean I will not be worried about retiring with enough to live off of. Shawnee in the house. Happy Tuesday, Shawnee. That's the way I should start every one of my live streams. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Happy Tuesday. You know, go full on Good Morning Vietnam. You know, pull away from the mic and howl. Probably wake up my poor little daughter. So I won't do it, but still. Oh, Paul, I don't have either of those. That oak cross, I was very interested in, but it's too hard to get stuff. Like you get some great stuff, but you're probably ordering it from Alberta like I do, right? Nika from the barrel. Okay, that was it. Fitzy loves a good bucket list. I have a bucket list of, so I have grades of bucket lists. Like I have a list of about 5 or 6 things that maybe near the end of the year, like as I told you guys, I'm going to try to underspend this year, but you know, things that I'll start to pick up. You know, there's a pen, there's a I'm enchanted by you guys have seen these ads of like these book nook things by Anavrin. There are 1 or 2 of those that I just I love the idea of spending a quiet afternoon or two building one of those. Things like that really settle the demons for me. That's why I love Lego so much. Building like Legos really helps to settle the demons as well. There's because I'm outside of myself and I'm building something. It sort of scratches a creative itch. So those book nooks, I'm gonna have to get one. There's sort of a quasi cyberpunk Kowloon walled city one that I keep seeing ads for, and I'm like, yep, yep. But the thing is, I don't know if they're any good. They're not cheap, so I don't know anyone who's bought one yet. And I'm afraid of, making an expensive mistake. I mean, man, I'm not going to bore you guys with all my bucket lists, but, everyone needs a bucket list or two, right? Am I right? I think I'm right. Yeah, we got Mr. Tenenbaum in. Mr. Tenenbaum, I have made some progress on the issue with the live stream on my other channel. And now that I'm sitting at my computer, I've just remembered that. I cannot fix it from my phone, but I'm going to look at it on this computer. I have taken a couple of days off upcoming, and I will use one of them to deep dive on it. I think Country Boy, somebody had the same problem on these live streams where he was commenting but it wasn't showing up. Yeah. Okay, it was last Tuesday. Okay. The Hudson's Bay blanket they sell at Canadian Tire is apparently the original one. It's just they're now selling them from Canadian Tire instead of the Bay. Bear in mind, they were all owned by the same company, right? At the end there. So to them, it's just move it over. Look, I'm sad that the Bay is not around. Because like the dream would be to walk into the Bay and buy the Hudson's Bay blanket there, because of the history behind the store and everything, and also because the Hudson's Bay Company had come around and acknowledged many of the problematic things it was famous for in, say, the Native communities. And so the sale of those blankets now, the proceeds from every blanket sold were going towards First Nations artists organizations and stuff. So it was kind of taking this blanket that was in a lot of communities kind of a symbol of colonialism and not making up for it because you can't, but acknowledging it and trying to pay some of that back in some way. And I don't know if that's still the case if you're buying them from Canadian Tire. But at the end of the day, if it's still the original company making the blankets, which I've heard it is, then I'd be perfectly happy to buy one there. Everyone's saying hi. Yeah, you do order from Alberta. Yep. You got to order more than one bottle at a time to make that worthwhile, though, eh? It is the way. Buy from Alberta. This is the way. Excuse me. Okay, so Destiny says her bucket list is 1, off-grid land, 2, off-grid Amish log cabin with wraparound deck, 3, real goose down quilt, hammock with net, ladies chainsaw, and a good bra. So, your number 1 item, mine too. Like if that's a different bucket list, but I will go with you on this one. Same for me. Number 2, absolutely same for me. Number 3, yeah, I would take that for sure. Number 4, hammock with net. That's the most affordable element of your list. So I would say yeah. Number 5, ladies chainsaw. I would like a chainsaw. Ladies would be cool because then I could use it to train Camille. However, I'd need to become an expert first. And number 6, Me too, if the bra is attached to... Stop. Right there. Moving right along. That was close. I was almost about to go there. Oh, peanut trucker's out. All right. Stay safe on the road. Everyone say goodnight to the road hammer. Everyone is saying goodnight to the road hammer, so I'm just going to skip. Jeez, Marcus. I laughed when I saw the good part of the list. I didn't read the good part first. Excuse me. Oh, Fitzy continues. A painting of Ontario I saw at the Glenhurst Gallery, painted in 1800s and framed with a traditional gold frame. One day, I think I'll be able to walk in somewhere and buy a piece of art. La la la. Oh, okay, I've caught up. So, in terms of if we can get back, no, you see, now I've got Hudson's Bay blankets in my head. You guys, Fitzy, starting me down this road. And not one of these damn colored ones. I mean the original, the off-white with the stripes. You know, not like a red one or a no. The original off-white, straight up classic. I don't want something fancy. You can't really say that about a Hudson's Bay blanket, right? But you know what I'm saying. So in terms of like survival in movies, has anyone seen The Revenant? Because I've heard that there's a fairly good representation of outdoor of woodsmanship in that, but I never got to see it. I still haven't seen it. I'd like to. What was the name of that movie about McCandless? The guy who sort of walked into Alaska and never came back out. What was it? I seem to remember thinking that it was good at not really glorifying the outdoorsmaniness. Because the problem with McCandless is they finally had to move that bus because so many people were trying to do a pilgrimage to that bus, and their whatever the forest rescue people in Alaska are called were throwing money at getting helicopters to get people out of the backcountry so much that they finally just hid the damn bus, or they moved it, or they, I don't know, impounded it. I don't remember what they did, but they picked the damn thing up with a helicopter and took it away. And it's kind of weird that we idealize places where people have gone to die in that way. It's like he became this I don't want to say saint, but you know what I'm saying? Like he became this I guess martyr to the cause or something. It's like, if there's a martyr to the cause, if you want to do a pilgrimage to a guy who went into the back country in Alaska, that should be Dick Proenneke, not McCandless, right? Because Dick Proenneke prepared and he thrived. McCandless just sort of sauntered off into the woods, burnt his money or whatever, and I'm going to survive because nothing stopped me yet. And then something stopped him. I realize I'm looking at the screen rather than the camera. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Hold on. Russell says, The Revenant is pretty good. I feel I could fight a grizzly after watching that. Okay. I've heard it's very good. I just haven't had time. I'm putting it down on my list here. Into the Wild. Yes, thank you. Yes, it's Into the Wild. Tenenbaum also says that I need to see The Revenant. Yeah. And if Tenenbaum says I need to see it, I need to see it. His taste is pretty damn bang on. Into the Wild, right. Marcus is asking if watching Russell's videos count as a movie because they have a bit of everything in them. If you want, we're not going to gatekeep here. But you know what I just remembered? Years ago now, a guy from Toronto, after watching a bunch of Bear Grylls and Les Stroud videos, pulled a McCandless, walked into the North Country, and died. I don't remember if he was eaten by a bear or just starved. I don't remember what. Um, but like, even Les Stroud had to say after that that, like, what we're doing is entertainment. Learn the traditional way before you do that. Take a class. At least read some books, kind of thing. You can't just watch it, but especially not like a Bear Grylls. To be straight with you, he has, by the way, acknowledged that what he's doing is entertainment as well. But it's crazy how, and I'm saying this because Russell reminded me of this by saying, after watching that movie, I could fight a grizzly. Rah, it's like, well, and it's interesting to me that people can just watch something and think that they've learned enough. Like, you're going to learn some more useful stuff from Les Stroud than you will from Bear Grylls, but in the same way as I've always said to you guys, or I've said on several occasions to you guys, that I know what like wintergreen is. I know I can make a tea from evergreens, right? Pines, spruces, all that. Books have helped for that, but for mushrooms, I'm not, no, nothing short of a course with an expert. I don't care how good the pictures are in the books. There are certain things that I do not mess with. Mushrooms is one of them. I mean, if I knew, if I had the wisdom of the mushrooms, uh, it'd be great to walk into the forest, pick a bunch of things, and make a sweet, fried up mushroom lunch soup. But mushroom lunch soup, fried up mushroom lunch is what I was trying to say there, people. But nope, there's no way. But hey, Russell says that after watching him, you're a skilled woodsman. So, all right, fair enough. Destiny says Joanna Lumley. Oh, the Patsy and AbFab. Okay, did a great job at Island Survival with the clothes she brought with her. A BBC show, I think. I do not know this at all. Russell says the Christopher McCandless message isn't to try and survive based on nothing. It's about chasing your dreams. I get the chasing your dreams. I get that. But even chasing your dreams, you have to sort of be ready for, right? And he needed. I think chasing your dreams is absolutely legit. I think everyone should be. We don't. The vast majority of people don't, and that is, many of us here would rather live in an off-grid cabin. Many of us here would rather blah. I know only two people who are doing their dream jobs. Even that, I know two people personally who are doing their dream jobs, and that's it. I live with one of them, and so it's impressive to me. And I know one other, and everyone else I know is just getting by. They like their job. They, you know, and I know that whole, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. To hell with that. That is so untrue. But we don't tend to chase our dreams. And so I get the attraction. And maybe that's why people used to find that bus so they could go and bask in. But he didn't live his dream. He died his dream. And with a little effort, he could have lived his dream. Because there's no way that he didn't know about Dick Proenneke at that point. Or if he didn't, then he was he was even more massively unprepared than I thought. I'm gonna look up that Joanna Lumley survival show. Like, unless it was one of those, like, I know Bear Grylls took a bunch of British celebrities on like a survival weekend here and there and blah blah blah. But like, even when I was in junior leadership school, we had to do a survival weekend by ourselves out in the woods. You know, after taking survival classes for 2 weeks, not the full 2 weeks. I mean, at junior leadership school, we had, you know, one class was drill, one class was airframes. No, not at junior leadership. That was at basic. But like some, you know, there were leadership, you know, there was an instructor course, right? You were learning how to become an instructor and all that stuff. But one of the classes that we had was survival, and then to pass or fail that course, they dumped you by yourself out in the woods somewhere. That was only for 2 days. But you know, anyway, I'm getting boring here. Destiny says Marcus makes a good point about the Russell videos. The ATV trail shenanigans are the best of the best of survival. David says at what time was that? At 9:36. David said 11 thumbs up and 15 watching. Come on, people, hit the thumbs up. And he's a mod, so do what you're told. Marcus says that Russell has definitely inspired him from the comfort of his couch. I never watch YouTube's on my TV. Destiny has an ad. Like, I don't think I've ever done that. The only time I've ever watched YouTube's on a TV, I think I was at Russell's place. That wasn't even a TV. That was a monitor, wasn't it? Marcus said, I didn't know that Les Stroud is the chief scout until a week ago. I didn't know for a long time either. Or maybe he wasn't for a long time. Maybe it's fairly new. I don't remember. But I do remember that him being mentioned as that. Look, the guy's got skills. You know, he's got skills. But the thing is, even Bear Grylls has skills, right? You know, he learned in, you know, the SAS, whatever is the reserve version of the SAS for sure. But I mean, he's not an idiot about the outdoors. It's just what he does for TV is straight up entertainment. Look, I've said before to you guys, and so this is boring, but I still maintain that why I will always give Bear Grylls a benefit of the doubt is because he's the only one of those guys who hasn't dissed anyone else. Like even Mears, you know, has said nasty things about Bear Grylls, as many of them have. And in response to that, Bear Grylls said, I don't know, you know, sort of with a smile on his face, like, I don't know why he has a problem with me. I think he's wonderful. I love his stuff, you know, and he's never dissed anyone. And like, Lofty Wiseman, just a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge. And he just comes off as an arsehole when he talks about all the others. You know, he says that Ray Mears has the wrong shape for it. You know, he looks like he's been kicking back for too much time. He thinks Bear Grylls is an idiot. He says, I mean, I got to give him props. I mean, SAS is hard, but Les Stroud, you know, he thinks he's the only one who's really out there. I think these guys are all like, I mean, I guess it takes a certain whatever alpha sensibility or something to do that. But as someone who works hard to not reach out and touch someone in a negative way, like online at least, you know, who tries to only make a comment if I have something constructive or appreciative to say, it really rubs me the wrong way when these guys diss each other. They're all on the same freaking team. Give it a break. 21:45. We are now 15 minutes away from whiskey time. Paul, I think I'll have the compass box tonight. Are you going to have a dram with us? Who else is having a dram? Who's having a dram? In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to engage with your audience. Start a poll. I'm having a drink with Jess tonight. Yes or no? I will leave that open until 10 o'clock. Somebody remind me at 10 to stop the poll. Okay. And if you are, tell us what you're having. Christy Grounds says, did you ever look up the Bombardier? The Bombardier? Fitzy says, Ramirez Survival, yes. Dick Prenneke, yes. I love, those are my two favorites, by the way, as well. Ramirez, I still watch over and over. Comfort food. And that was weird, right? The fact that my camera just cut out and I had to click on it to come back online. I mean, on screen. It was weird, right? But yeah, I still the Northern Survival series, love it. The Indigenous Food series he did with what was his name? The guy died of Parkinson's, made me sad. Such a nice seeming guy who was like an ethno botanist, ethno foodist. I don't remember. I mean, it's just I watch these series over and over and over again as sort of comfort food, I guess, as a security blanket. You know, world sort of piles up on me. I do two things. I read science fiction and I watch Ramirez. And Dick Prenneke, I love it. I love it. Oh, and Bill Mason. Bill Mason, absolutely. Can't leave Bill Mason off of. Now, that's not survival. That's paddling. But I'm saying of like the comfort food guys I watch, it's pretty much Ramirez. Maybe Dick Prenneke and maybe Bill Mason. Oh, the Bombardier Bombi is it's an ATV. Amundsen, yeah, but I mean that's books, right? Are there even books? Like he was long enough ago that I don't think he filmed anything, or if he did, it would be like Nanook of the North quality. But yeah, Amundsen, yeah, interesting guy, very interesting guy. A Sherp, yeah, okay, that's a bucket list item for you. Those are expensive. Those are expensive. Jim will see us in 30. Drive safe, Jim. 2149. Okay, so David is taking us out of the movies, but with a good question. What is a good bushcraft book for beginners? I want to get it for my son-in-law. He thinks being outdoors is stepping into his hot tub. Does he have children? I'm looking. I guess I don't have. Ramirez. Is it the Ramirez Bushcraft? Is that what it's called? Um, where they are. But you know what? You can just even start with something like this, right? Very low impact. Things about camping, but things about backcountry camping and reading maps and you know having the right tools, for instance. Right? It's not about hitting hitting the CEPAC or whatever a provincial park is called elsewhere or in the States or whatever, right? You know, how to make mucklooks. It's this is a good transitional book between car camping and backcountry camping / bushcraft. It's by Cliff Jacobson. But like, yes, there is how to build a lean-to, but there's also like tents and stuff, and like stuff that one doesn't tend to think of. Like, what's the best way to pack, right? What do you put at the top of your pack versus what's at the bottom for weight distribution, stuff like that. These are things that are in some circles basic knowledge, but for people who are just trying to get into it, there's no way packing properly is basic knowledge. Destiny had the dream job and loved it. Okay, well, that's good too. Russell is suggesting the SAS survival manual. I see. I'm not sure. Hold on. I had 2 copies of this. So I did a giveaway. I gave one of them away. So that's by John. That's by Lofty Wiseman. What's good about this is that there's plant identification in it. Oh, in fact, I just opened it up to plant identification. It's very world spanning though. Like for someone's first bushcraft book, like survival case studies might be a little extreme, might sort of scare someone off, because this really is a survival book, right? And survival is camping by accident, right? I mean, this is a very, very fucking good book. Oop, I just swore. Sorry. This is a very good book, and it's just packed with solid information. I think that the philosophy that went into this book might be a little scary for someone who's just looking to hit the woods. And also, tropical regions. Like, is there too much in here for someone who you want to introduce to camping in temperate zones, right? It's a good book though, for sure. Hey, we got Homie Omi in the house. How are you doing? Saying hi to me, and I'm saying hi right on back. Homie Omi, do you have a favorite sort of bushcraft and survival book? And Ryder, the actual question we're supposed to be talking about tonight, do you have a favorite movie with, like, is there a movie that you think of has good, realistic, or just really fun sort of survival in it? Oh, Destiny says, quote from tonight is he thinks being outdoorsy is stepping into his hot tub. Ooh, 21:55. I better pour that scotch. In 5 minutes, that means we're shutting down the poll. Yeah, I'm gonna pour the spice tree, because the only 2 I have here are the spice tree and my holiday malt. Come on, fool. There we go. Spice tree. Whoops. Spice tree is discontinued, right? It's one of the ones that's been discontinued. I had thought Orchard House was as well, but apparently I'm mistaken on that. I'm not drinking it yet, though. Did I show you guys this? So this experiment number 1 is Leipzig. Paul, you know what Leipzig is? It's a Leipzig 27 that they put 2 kilos of sliced Scotch bonnets into the barrel for the last number of years, which tells you that they were sampling that, and at 27 it still wasn't going to be good enough to bottle. But anyway, so this popping this open and tasting it right off the bat was a very zingy experience, but it has calmed down a lot since then. I mean, but if you don't like something spicy, and also this was a $40 bottle, I think it was. Russell says, David, if you read that book, you'll be hard to the core. That is true. Russell says, I always try to say nice and helpful, constructive things to people, except Sean in Alaska. Him, I got on blast. Sean can take it. Oh, nice. You just poured the Glendronach 10 finished in PX Sherry. I like it. Nice. David the Instigator is instigating, I see. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the best survivalist, followed by William Shatner. So I was going to bring up Country Boy is having the Rito tonight. Can't taste shit, so might as well drink the non-special bottle. Fair enough. Christy's having the Evan Williams. Are we at 10 o'clock? Nope. Evan Williams for Christy. Nice. Okay, Tenenbaum. This is in answer to David's question that Dave Canterbury is not a bad place to start. His Bushcraft 101 book. True. I don't own that, but I've seen it, and yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Russell's like MacGyver for the win. Hey, Susie's here. Susie says, I live in the Adirondacks in a cute village called Northville. It's 60 miles from Albany, 100 from New York City. That sounds nice. I'd love to live in a tiny town next to like surrounded by nature. It'd be so nice, especially in fall. Like when the leaves are changing, not late fall when it gets all gray and depressing. David still has his Boy Scout handbook and still refers to it occasionally. I would love a vintage Boy Scout handbook. Boy Scout handbook is where you get that thing of, you've got like a narrow log. You sort of put it lengthwise and you rest your axe on it and puck. I think that's a Boy Scout. I think that's where most people have gotten that. Russell has an idea for a screenplay with a solid survival element. Omi likes Rambo. Fun at that age. Oh, medication reminder. Mr. Steve Grounds popping in. How you doing? What's your favorite film with survival in it, or survival film or whatever? Oh, it's not Crimson Cask. Orchard House is on its way out also. James Saxon is creating his own blends. Yeah, I knew that he was changing stuff up, but I thought that there were some things surviving. I have one bottle of Orchard House. Still, I guess I'll keep it for as long as I can. I mean, look, everything I own gets drunk at some point. I'm not a collector. I'm not gonna flip bottles for profit. I want to share them for fun, for enjoyment. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on a second. I just want to. Just want to ask my wife if she has something in the oven because I hear an alarm. I think that's what it might be. David says that episode 1.1 was Russell's best survival video. Episode 1.1, that's an absolute classic of the genre. Homie sold a couple of knives on eBay, trying to use the knives to buy camping and hiking gear. Okay, what'd you sell? Rescue Dawn is a heck of a survival film. What's your favorite? What makes it? What puts it over the top for you? Is there a specific scene that you point to and like, yep? Fitzy would love to find a survival book for a taiga hunter or person. I think there's taiga in this somewhere. He probably just calls it the north, right? Let me just see. Survival kit, planning equipment. Whenever I read Lofty, I feel like I need to have an accent. I'm just taking a look here because I think he's got some no, he doesn't have regions. Wait. Oh, I get it. Okay, hold on now. I'm looking for the contents. Yes. Essentials, then strategy, then climate and terrain. That's going to be climate and terrain, probably 62. What do we got? Climate zones, polar, tundra, northern coniferous forest, and then temperate climates. So I'm guessing that he's putting taiga and tundra together. Tundra, south of the polar cap. The ground remains permanently frozen and vegetation is stunted. Snow melts in summer, but roots cannot penetrate the hard earth. High altitudes produce similar conditions. And then he has northern coniferous forest. Between the Arctic tundra and the main temperate lands is a forest zone, up to 1,300 kilometers deep. In Russia, where it is known as the taiga, the forests penetrate up to 1,650 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. But in the Hudson Bay area of Canada, the tree line moves an equal distance south of the circle. Because when I was in school, we called that the taiga as well. Like, is that a French Canadian thing, or is Lofty just being British? Do you know what I'm saying? Then there's savanna and there's deserts. I would like to see those zones as well. You know, if I had money, like I was doing episodes and making bank off of them, I would do a tundra episode, boreal forest episode, because Russell loves it when I talk about the boreal. Desert, like what do you do in the desert, right? I mean, if you're sort of, you know, in the outback in Australia, you can start a fire, and you know the Aborigines start a fire, not to keep warm, but to give wherever they stop sort of a sense of place. And for me, the reason I start a fire even when it's technically too warm for fires, for the same reason. It sort of, oh, my land is 22:05. Okay, I'm gonna stop the poll. 62% of yes are having a drink with me. So here's to the 62% of you who are. That's of 13 votes. That didn't ring. Cheers, peeps. Slanja. Score. Chin chin. Salud. Anyway, whatever. So, I'm sad this is discontinued. It's very good. When I first opened the spice tree, I felt a little let down by it, but as it relaxed, I began to understand why people like it so much. hold on a second. I'm just I'm going to just roll it back a little bit. Okay. Caramel butterscotch, as you get with anything in American oak. Spice. Baking spice, though. Paul, I would love to know if your notes off of this would match mine. Like baking spices, but also like a little bit of cardamom or something. Something fresh and breezy. Meadow-like, heather. Hint of something floral, like a little rose water. I do have my mouth slightly open as I stick my schnoz in there. Because what it does is it helps to sort of, what do they call it? The retronasal? When they sort of get the air. Is that the right term? Nice. Very nice. Spicy. Peppery. Big oak. Big oak. Slight espresso. Something very malty. Biscuity. Maybe a touch of a baked apple at the back there. Wonderful. Russell says his tops are Into the Wild, Predator, Red Dawn, and episode 1.1. Oh, Country Boy noticed the alarm. Yeah. Homie sold a TRC Apocalypse and LT Wright Forest Trail knife. Nice. Russell says those are the quadrifecta of survival films for him. David said The Martian was a good survival video in case you're stranded on Mars. Except that, you know what? I think it probably was. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson said that it was very realistic. In fact, I'm kind of looking for the damn book right now. I started a book club at work as a way of actually getting back into reading, and somebody suggested that I should read that. But apparently his second book, Hail Mary, is actually even better. But scientifically speaking, he is very much bang on with a lot of it. The dust storm on Mars, I could have told you, is not realistic because the atmosphere is not thick enough to create that kind of damage. The place would still be fine after a Martian dust storm. But anyways, I have heard from scientific types that what he does is very, very, very realistic, especially compared to what Hollywood tends to do, right? He says, the only thing I bought since last week are bushcraft pants. What'd you get? You got some Fjallravens? Tenenbaum says, well, it's based on a true story. The guy, after being in a prison camp for quite a while, manages to escape, evade capture, and survive in the Southeast Asian jungle long enough to get rescued. Okay, so it's sort of the based on a true story helps bring up the realism a little bit, generally. Not always, but generally. Someone says it's an amazing story. All right, I'll look at it. I'll look for it. Russell loves The Martian as well. I thought it was a great film. I've seen it a couple of times. I watched it once with Camille. Shut the poll down. I did. He says, in the desert you die. David says a good survival book is The Last Canadian. I do not even know what that is. Paul says, cheers. In the desert, it says, Russell, you build casinos. Christy says, one of these times we need to have Destiny in to go over the quotable quotes for 2025. So whenever I want to have someone on screen as a guest, we need to meet up a few days before to make sure that it works on their system. Because the reason we were late with Dennis was because he couldn't get the sound to work. And it took some doing. And I think it'll take some doing for anyone who comes on, which is why, like, if I'm going to have someone on, um, I realize I have to do a call with them beforehand, even if it's the same day, but like beforehand, like when you guys are not waiting for us to come on to get the kinks out. Country Boy had a sip. Rest is going down in the sink. Can't smell it. Can't taste it. No joy for me tonight. Are you sure it's not the Rona, dude? Steve Ground says desert survival is rough. Took a course in high school. Yeah, I think a lot of people think you just slice the top off a cactus, any cactus, and it's not any cactus. First of all, and it's not that simple. Second of all. Yeah, Marcel, how you doing? Marcel, what's your favorite survival movie or movie with survival in it? Whether because it's realistic or just because it's fun. Tenenbaum is looking forward to the Hail Mary film. Yeah, I should probably read that book as well. I recently read All Elevations Unknown. Which was a nonfiction book about a mountain climber and his another mountain climber retracing the steps of a British. I was going to say a lieutenant colonel, but I think he was a major in World War II who went into the middle of Borneo. Saw a specific mountain that practically not mentioned anywhere else, and climbed part of it. But the Royal Air Force used it as a sighting for their planes when they were transporting troops in and stuff. But the land where this mountain is very, very tough, and so even just getting to it was part of the challenge. Russell's asking if Deliverance is considered a survival story. Well, in some ways, probably. In some ways, right? Yeah, Country Boy says what I'm thinking. It depends on what you're trying to survive. Yep. Fjall Raven Vito Pro ventilated in olive and also wheat. Love them. I own them in olive. I would like them in wheat. But yeah, I love the Vito Pros for sure. Marcel is swamped, driving herself and the daughter all over the place. Can't wait for her Christmas break to start on Friday. Oh, some peeps are getting adverts. Russell saw a video where a guy on top of a mountain disconnected himself from the safety rope to take a selfie. He slid right off. Was it an AI video or a real one? I don't care. I'm not gonna go looking for it. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I believe it. People do stupid things all the time. Mike says, just getting up each day in these crazy times is a survival story. That's pretty legit, actually. That's pretty legit. Paul, do you do like a holiday whiskey every year? Do you have something that you sort of open for the holidays? I'm just looking at the list that David posted in the Discord. Oh, he says Castaway. I haven't seen Castaway, but I have read that it was kind of realistic in terms of what was happening in his head. But does anyone know if there was any actual sort of wilderness survival in it? And if there is, would it pass the grade? Would it? Russell? Oh, David says what many of us are thinking, I think. Can't wait for 25 to end. Been a rough year. For me, it has been awful. Awful, awful, awful. Russell says that Castaway is great and has good survival stuff. Good to know. It's another film I should probably watch. He's one of those actors who, if I see he's in it, I'll just watch something, you know? Okay, so Paul has not yet decided on what his holiday bottle will be. This year I didn't buy a new bottle for my holiday bottle. I still have like over 90 bottles unopened. So I just like, here's something I've been sitting on for a few years. And it was a bottle that my fiddle player and I bought at the same time out in Calgary. And we have been waiting a couple of years to sort of both have time to do a FaceTime and open it together. So that's what we did. Country Boy says, my holiday whiskey is Fireball. Need that sweet cinnamon for my nog. Okay. All right. David says The Deer Hunter was a good survival movie. Okay. Well, that's good because I wrote it down before because I couldn't remember. I don't remember anything about it. Oh, Russell says, what was that holiday Fireball drink? I was talking about them last year. I don't remember. But I do remember you talking about them. Destiny, do you remember what that was? Yeah. You'll bring the olives up one day. We'll both wear them like bushcraft tag team wrestlers. Hey, Mike says One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a great survival film. Yeah, that's a different kind of survival. I love that scene where he's rearing to start like a little rebellion, and all the guys who are in there is like, dude, I'm in here because I want to be. And then another one's like, yeah, I put myself in here. It's like this moment of utter defeat. That's a very good movie. Very freaking good movie. What about 127 Hours? I don't. Oh, is that the one where the guy gets trapped in like a glacier or under a big hunk of ice, and he has to take like the mountain climber or whatever, like true story, and he had to take his arm off with his penknife or something? Is that the one I'm thinking about? Or is that the one you're thinking about? I haven't seen it. Oof. Country Boy says his power's flicking. He's going to be booted soon. Okay. Well, I mean, I hope you don't get booted too quickly. I know that when the power's flickering, you might be in for a night of darkness. I hope you got some candles or something. Or Gravity. I've seen Gravity. I don't remember a damn thing about it, though. I have seen Gravity, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. I don't know if that's a good sign. Marcel says, I love the movie The Family Stone. Craig T. Nelson and Diane Keaton. Great cast in that movie. Was there a survival in that? I don't remember that at all. Destiny is off topic. Mulled wine. We need quality recipe for that mixology nightmare. Never had a good one. You never had a good one? I made mulled wine one year. What did I? How did I? What did I? Who did I? How did I? What did I? This moment brought to you by Neurodivergence. What was that mulled wine recipe that I used? Because I didn't write it down. Did I print it out? I don't think it was in this. I don't think it was in here, but maybe. Kind of a bit of a Hail Mary here, people. Fa la 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 la. Holiday party punches. Oh, they got wassail in here. 'Tis the season sangria, glögg, blue Christmas punch, Fezziwig punch, classic eggnog, jolly fruity cider, nope. Warm and toasty toddies, it's got to be in here. Hot mint chocolate, nope. Hot buttered apple cider. Hot buttered wine? I may have to get rid of this book. Okay, there's the cocktails, champagne sippers, zero proof libations, holiday party punches. But no mulled wine. What was the recipe I used? I make a mulled cider. Mulled apple cider. But I've made like a glühwein. Oh, let me just. Was it from Delish? Was it from Liquor? Might have been this. I'll post the link. It might have been this. This might have been it. Destiny. I just serve. Okay, our Gravity. Love that movie. This Family Stone. Mulled wine. Russell says Nurse Pratchett. Ratched. Russell says 120. Yeah, I could write that one in my sleep. Will not watch that one. Oh, Chrissy says trapped by a boulder. Okay. But was that one? Was that technically nonfiction, or was it fiction? Oh yeah. Gravity with Sandra Bullock in space, and what George Clooney. Right, she's trapped up there because like a bolt goes through the. Is it like a chain reaction of space junk that comes and shreds the space shuttle, or whatever, or station, or whatever the hell they're in? Takes out one of her crew members or two, right? Because they're doing extravehicular operations at the time, right? And like at the end, she's standing on a beach, right? I remember thinking that her hair should not be in such good shape if she's in outer space. But I do remember enjoying the film though, like not thinking it was a terrible film. I do have to say though that I loved The Martian. Excuse me for a second, peeps. It's getting chilly down here. You know what I need? Hudson's Bay blanket. Boom. Boom, right here. For this use, I would take the what's it called, a 1.2 point, you know, the single or double, you know, the small one. Come on, all my midwinter episode, I come all like this. Cup of hot chocolate with a slug of brandy in it. Hi, people. I'm here in the Arctic frigidity of a Montreal winter, he says. And then turns up the heat. So you know what I haven't done between last week and this week? I haven't put this on the wall yet. Like, by the time I get down here, I don't want to make the kind of noise that would wake up the kids upstairs. I'm like, oh. Anyways, I took some measurements and then I forgot what the measurements were. I'm not going to be using nails though, so I don't think I have to be that. Like, I'm going to drill holes, put in those little plastic plugs and stick the screws in, because where the studs are, right here, no, where the actual studs are ain't going to work. Ain't going to work. I'm just getting comfy here, people. Oh, battery just died in my video light. Now I look boring and flat in the dark, all alone. Creatures creeping in the shadows. Survival is not guaranteed. But I have Lofty Wiseman here. If the creatures come, I will throw it at their heads. Because this, by the way, is a brick. This is like, that's a hell of a book. Destiny, tell me if that mulled wine recipe looks good. Tenenbaum says, Danny Boyle film, good one. Oh, Country Boys. Okay, so that's why your power's flickering. High wind warnings. I should see if I can find another spice tree. Yeah, right. Gravity had George Clooney as well. He's dreaming. Yes, he's dreaming. Oh, no, it's a tearjerker Christmas movie, but it's a good one. That's a survival in a whole different way. Country Boy. Sandy B. I love her. Can't blame you. Excuse me. Tim Mom says the guy's name was Aaron Ralston, nonfiction. That's about the 127 hours. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. Okay, Tenenbaum. Fair. I think my favorite thing about that film is that it shows how you can get into trouble by making a series of small bad decisions where each itself is no big deal. That's pretty freaking incisive, actually. Russell says, Kessler syndrome, when there's so much space debris that it keeps impacting other space stuff, creating more space debris than space travel is impossible. Yeah, I think we're probably... We might not be that far off from that, actually. I know there are efforts to track all the space junk, but like it's... Because the thing is, stuff orbits fast enough up there that like a bolt could go like right through the wall of a spacecraft, right? I know the Russians were trying to get the Americans to sign on to a system for scooping up some of that shit and getting rid of it. I don't know, firing it into the sun or burning it up in the atmosphere or something. But NASA was not interested. Granted, the Russians had to twist the Americans' arm to get in on the International Space Station as well. So, but that ended up being a good... Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Christy's disappointed it's not the blanket. Fair enough. Jess needs a stud finder. I got one. See? Boom. Huh? God, I'm so cringy sometimes. Country he has a quality stud finder. It's the side chat on his lives. Oh, I've never heard of this one. Russell says there's a movie with Robert Redford. So Robert Redford and the survivals called All Is Lost. It's pretty much survival on a sailboat. Oddly realistic. I'm gonna write that down. Gonna write it down. That's with Robert Redford. Robert Redford. Redford. My grandpa's name is Ferd. Well, short for Fernand, but anyways, Ferd. Call him Grandpa Ferd. Destiny says, yes, the recipe looks good. Just got a recipe from Christy, too. It looks fab. I think the type of wine makes the difference. We'll be trying both this Christmas break. Thank you. So what kind of wine does the one from Christy call for? You know what I hate about, like, just looking at the recipe that I sent you, it's like, just give me the recipe. I don't care. This my grandmother made and her grandmother made before her, and we just do it every damn Christmas, and we think it's so good, and the kids can't get enough of that mulled wine, and that's why they were asleep till New Year's. Just skip to the recipe. I don't care about all that. Just give me the recipe. Because I think that the one I gave you, I'm trying to scroll down, and because I think it's not really all that specific about the wine, it just says red, right? And it calls for brandy as well, I think. Ah, there it is. Okay. So one bottle of red wine, yeah. One orange, sliced into rounds. 6 whole cloves. 3 cinnamon sticks. 3-star anise pods. A half cup of brandy and a quarter cup of honey. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, but since Destiny pulled us off course, I will just... Destiny's sending the hubby up for a Merlot now. I hate Merlot in a glass. I think it's the Coca-Cola of wines. But for something like a punch or like a mulled wine, it's the perfect choice because what you're not... Like, I wouldn't do a Pinot Noir for something like... Well, first of all, because a Pinot is so delicate, the flavors would just overpower it. But like, what you want for something like this is something with a robust taste that's not too dry, right? Because it's got to go with everything and give you this sort of spicy, fruity kind of juiciness. So a Merlot is a really good choice for that. So I think, yeah, you're right. Merlot for damn sure. I'm not sure what Christy's saying here about at fur. I don't know what that means, at fur. David says, All Is Lost was a weird movie. No dialogue. Very dramatic. That sounds cool to me. Russell says to David, we could have a long conversation about that movie. It tosses regular movie tropes. Like, if you focus on something, it's because something bad is going to happen. That doesn't happen. Country Boy says, Merlot's a good start for mulled wine. It's full-bodied and has a nice spice to it already. Yeah, there's a woodiness to it. That's good. As I said, I hate it in a glass, but sometimes in a blend of like Merlot, Cab Sauv or something, it's okay. It doesn't, but... Oh yeah, Zinfandel too. But yeah. Russell says Merlot is the closest wine to port, which means it's the only wine I'm okay with. I would take a ruby port over a Merlot any day for sure. If Destiny says Cabernet Sauv, Cab Sauv, another good choice for this, right? Because it's a super basic kind of big I kind of feel that a Cab Sauv might be oakier than a Merlot, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting them backwards because I don't tend to drink either of them. I'm a Shiraz, or what's the English word for Shiraz? Syrah. I like a Syrah. I like a, you know, um, Pinot Noir. I like I don't know. I'm blanking right now. But again, a Cab Sauv is good for certain, like if you're making a. Truth be told, I've had some good Cab Sauvs for sure. I have yet to try a Merlot that I love, but there've been a couple of Cab Sauvs that I like. So I mean, did I just get dinged on something? Did I just get dinged? Did somebody go ding? Oh, Christy put her recipe. Oh, they're very similar. Both of those recipes are very similar. David says that Syrah is a good. Whoops. I put my recipe. You can use honey or maple syrup. Sure. David also likes Syrah. Yeah. Oh, Paul likes a good Spanish Rioja. I had my first good Spanish Rioja last year. But yeah, I back that as well. I love a nice Grenache. Oh, Malbec, yeah. Um, so look, you don't want a shite wine, okay? You're not throwing a box of wine into your mulled wine, right? There's going to be no, what I like to call cuvée du dépanneur, which you will only get if you're Quebecois. Or, what the hell does my sister call it? You're not using box wine, right? You gotta have a good one, even if it's a Merlot or whatever. But and you for the heat, you gotta kind of watch it, right? Because if you go too heavy on the heat, you're gonna burn it, right? And it's gonna be gross. So, you know, Paul says Rats at the SCQ is very good. Good to know. I'll take a look for it. All right, enough with this wine top. I want everyone's top 5 favorite movies right now. Okay, so we're after 10. So I generally tend to open up the floor to other subjects after 10. We didn't go into the survival movies as much as I hoped, but we did get a few, and then we got distracted with alcohol talk, as we do tend to. But Russell had said that he would like to just talk about movies after 10, and I'm okay with that. What's everyone's top 5? Star Wars for me. Before it was called Episode 4, and before Greedo shot first, and before it was too crispy looking, like the original 1977 print, the one that blew my ears off in the theater. I had never seen anything like that before, and I was like, what, 5? So I hadn't seen much anyway, right? But I think before that, maybe I saw Bambi. That's probably up there near the top for me. When Harry Met Sally, definitely near the top. As someone who went to school for script writing, that movie is mind-bogglingly good. I don't know how much of the original script ended up in the, because Billy Crystal's pretty good, right? So but I don't know. When Harry Met Sally, as presented on screen, definitely top 5. Princess Bride. Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Very flawed masterpiece, but I loved it, and I still do. And we're still gonna do a Khan watching party on Russell's Discord as soon as we can. What would my fifth be? I kind of feel like I want to say like Lord of the Rings or something, but like part of the reason I love those movies is the landscape that they're going through. Part of it is the high adventure. Part of it is that I just love Tolkien. The casting so good, but is that a favorite movie? Like, is something like the simple, low key majesty and beautiful twist at the end of whatever that movie is, the M Night Shyamalan Bing Bang movie where it's like I see dead people. That movie, in my opinion, was fabulous, very good, and it was the first M Night Shyamalan Bing Bang movie I'd seen, so I wasn't used to like, oh, he's gonna have a twist at the end, you know. And as someone whose neurodivergence makes him always know who the fucking villain is at the beginning of a movie, it was enchanting for me to have not seen that coming. Even though as soon as I saw it coming, everything went click, 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 click throughout the entire movie for me. I was like, oh, of course. But still. Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle is some of the best screenwriting I've ever witnessed. And now here's the thing. It was a movie about Dorothy Parker and like the Algonquin Round Table and all that. So they needed the script writing to be absolutely top notch because the people they were depicting are some of the best wits in American history, in American literary history, right? Does something like Glengarry and Glen Ross count? Because that was originally a play, or for that matter, Wit, which was also originally a play. My Dinner with Andre is a seminal film. Not much happens. It's a conversation. That's what happens. But it's a milestone film because no one else had done anything like that. Star Wars was a milestone film because it was the first orchestral soundtrack in years. Everything had been rock soundtracks up to that, right? Like, look what was coming out at the time. You had like Hair and stuff like that, right? Master and Commander, probably the best sort of swashbuckling film I've ever seen. Even though I would say that in terms of pure fun, Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, is more fun. But is it a better quality movie? No. I love a top 5 list. I love a top 10 list. In my commonplace journal, the very first entry. Okay, it's my wallet. There's nothing in there to break. The very first entry in my commonplace journal, right, is my top 5 bass guitars, right? Like I top 5 everything, you know. Oh, Paul says Schindler's List, also very freaking good. Oh, The Sixth Sense. Thank you. Hold on. Let me roll back and show you guys because I'm just like blah 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 blah. Oh my land, you guys have been busy. Hold on. Um, oh, a slow cooker. Is that like 4 hours on low? Because you don't want too much heat, right? For a mulled wine, you don't want to boil it. Like we were talking like medium heat here, and we're not talking about like 3 hours either. But like in a slow cooker. Okay, Fitzy says Speed with Bullock and Reeve. That was good, and they had a really nice chemistry. The Little Buddha. Oh yeah, the great grass. Oh my god, the glitching today has been awful. Great Gatsby, the one with Redford. Okay. But that's only 3. Hold on. Oh, tonight. Last round for Paul tonight is the Oban Little Bay. Okay, I haven't had that. Crispy has too many favorites to list. Yeah, I think a top 10 list is easier to do, but okay. David's got Master Commander, fabulous. Crimson Tide, okay. Alabama Burning, cool choice. Platoon, oh yeah, Platoon. Platoon was a killer movie, and The Wrath of Khan, nice. Russell, like, get hard, pick 5. Raspberry says, ask David, have we talked about this before? Master Commander is my favorite too, and Crimson Tide is a solid pick. Master Commander is a great movie. Country Boy ain't got no time for movies. I don't have time to watch movies either, but I do love them. I mean, I went to school to make movies. David has a lot of favorite movies, collects them on DVD, love garage sales. Russell, my top 5. Master Commander, yeah. Aliens. Aliens. Okay. But Aliens is more fun than Alien. But is it really better? Like, Alien was like an tour de force in many, many ways. Like, I enjoyed Aliens more. Right? It was more sort of fun and Marines and stuff and machine guns and everything, but the atmosphere of Alien, the creep factor, that huge corpse that they walk in on, they're sitting in the chair, you know. Kung Fu Hustle, okay. All right. Best TV series, says David, is The Band of Brothers. That was very, very good. Oh, and Russell continues with Endurance with Kenneth Branagh. Good. Oh no, that's Destiny with Kenneth Branagh. Yeah, okay. Sense and Sensibility. Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet. Probably one of the best on-screen pairings. I love Kate Winslet. Absolutely. She's so good. Russell says, Glenn Ross is an amazing film. I didn't want to watch it, but I'm glad I did. Masterpiece. That's fabulous. It's a great movie. And like movies that come from plays like that, when they're written, they're written from a point of view of you can't save anything from special effects, right? Because you're taking a script from a play and you're adapting it. Marcel says, Tombstone. Oh yeah, Tombstone. The Family Stone. Okay. Sleepless in Seattle. My problem with hold on. The Sixth Sense. Yeah. And Fried Green Tomatoes. Oh yeah, that was such a good film. Let's see, it's hard to do the top 5, right? My problem with Sleepless in Seattle was that it was just When Harry Met Sally, but with new clothes, like in a new suit. It was very enjoyable though. Paul likes Schindler's List. I think that was a great movie. Absolutely, I agree. Great acting. Was it Rafe Fiennes? No, Joseph Fiennes. Who played the officer? Marcelo has many more faves, but those listed I will always watch when I have the chance. So, oh yeah, Much Ado About Nothing, Branagh and Thompson. You guys have some good taste. Like these are solid movies. Like Russell would put The Pianist slightly ahead of Schindler's List. Pianist was enchanting to me. Absolutely enchanting. It was so good. Beautiful film. Absolutely gorgeous film. But like, does anyone like Mosquito Coast or something like that? Christy says, Private Eyes, Fool's Gold, Top Secret, History of the World, and Blazing Saddles. Good choices. A very different list than I would put together, but none of those are bad movies. They're just not the kind of films I tend to think about. David also loves his Arnold, for sure. It's not a tumor. Christy says, okay, how's about, since it is Christmas time, everyone's top 5 Christmas movies. Do I have a top 5 Christmas movies? Let me just think. Someone's going to say Home Alone. That took no time at all. Home Alone. Someone's going to say Die Hard. But does anyone remember The Gods Must Be Crazy? Anyone remember that movie? Okay, so David's list is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and 2, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, Russell, we're doing a top 5 Christmas movies for sure. Christy says Holiday Inn, White Christmas, Christmas Vacation, Let It Snow, and Home Alone. What the hell are my favorite Christmas movies? So Russell thinks that Aliens was better. I don't. I think Alien was much. Alien was better if your favorite filmmakers are guys like Adam Egoyan and Villeneuve before he went to Hollywood, and David Lynch and guys like that. Whereas Aliens is better if you're more into, I guess, like sort of Spielberg. I'd say Michael Bay, but he's not good. But like, the big sort of big boom, big action guys, Mr. Titanic, whatever the hell his name is. I have a real love for art house, auteur-driven films, even though by default they're not as much fun at all. Like Aliens was a much cooler, funner, more fun action film. I've seen it more often because sometimes if I'm in the mood for something that's just like, let's kick ass and take slime or whatever, that's going to scratch the itch more, for sure. Serendipity. I also love John Cusack. He's one of those guys where if he's in something, I'll just see it. Okay, hold on. Russell did not like Much Ado About Nothing. Everybody smiling and laughing about absolutely nothing. I mean, the film was called Much Ado About Nothing. David is still here, which is all right. And Paul says Die Hard. Okay, so my five favorite Christmas movies. I'm gonna put Nightmare Before Christmas on that list. That's kind of a Halloween and Christmas movie. I get that. Part of me kind of wants to put Love Actually on there, just because it had a real Christmas feel to it. But I would put When Harry Met Sally on there as well, because part of it takes place at Christmas time. It's not really a Christmas movie, but ever since that movie Christmas, to me, it has had kind of a Harry Connick Jr. soundtrack sometimes, right? Peanuts Christmas movie has got to be on there. The Grinch, the original one, not the. I look. I think the Carrie version is fabulous, but for me, what creates a good Christmas movie for me is the same as what creates a good Christmas song for me. There's a nostalgia to it. So to me, the Grinch, the true Grinch, the one and only Grinch, is the original. There's something about Love Actually that taps into the Christmas tone for me, even though it's not a high quality movie. All right, let's just say that it's not. And that thing at the end with the signs, that's a red flag. Okay. I just don't know. I do not know. Wonderful Life, for sure. I guess. Miracle on whatever it was, 14th Street, 34th Street, whatever. But I just don't know. I'm struggling. I have heard that Elf is fabulous, but I haven't seen it. I've been told that I must see Elf. Maybe this will be my year. Maybe this will be my year. Jeez. Russell says we need to have an Alien versus Aliens versus Con Discord night. That will be a long night indeed. Jim likes any sappy Hallmark movie as long as there's a little ice skating fall that ends in an almost. What was that film where there was just like when they're doing an establishing scene of New York City in the winter, there's people skating, and in the middle of the skating rink, someone falls, and you hear this boom, this like thump, but like nothing came of it because it was just like it was just part of the establishing scene rather than a character. Brilliant, brilliant touch, and I don't remember which film that was. Okay, solid picks. Nightmare Before Christmas is awesome, and City Girl loves Love Actually. We watch it every year. Yeah. But what else? Because I think I've only said three now, right? The Grinch, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Love Actually. But I then also said like It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on Whatever Street. So that's four. No, that's five. Okay, I'm done. I got it. Yeah, I think that counts as a Christmas movie. It's because everyone seems to have seen it on Christmas Day. My wife's family too. I mean, they see it in French, obviously, but yeah, I'll watch it. Maybe this is my year. Marcel says my favorite Christmas movie is any Harry Potter movie. Okay, Elf, The Family Stone again, Peanuts Christmas Special. Yep, a recent one that's really cute is the red one with the rock. Okay. Here's a deep cut. Who here has seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? Because I have. I saw it back in the 70s, and as a kid, I still didn't think it was any good. Who's seen it? I will watch off. I will, sure. Use guys. Russell says that Office Christmas Party is your go-to favorite by far. I don't know if I've seen that. Oh, White Christmas with the Bing. Mm-hmm. I'm with you that it must be the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I do like the modern one. I like the one with Jim Carrey because it's frenetic and entertaining, and the 3D animated one also fun, very fun. But it's got to be the original for me. You can find it online. There's an there's a scene of Chewbacca's family on Kashyyyk, or I think in that film they're calling it Kazook. Um, it's like I don't know, 10 minutes long, 12 something. Maybe it's not that long, but it feels that long. And they're growling at each other, and there's no subtitles. There might be subtitles now. That you can get it online, but Steve says that his top two are White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life. Maybe I should watch some Christmas movies this season, but like not Nightmare Before Christmas again because the kids want to see it again. Like maybe I should go back over some of the old ones, some of the old classics. Gojo Boy says A Christmas Story is the only one you watch every year. Apparently, the red one was good. The big red one was also good, but that's not a Christmas movie. I think wasn't Mark Hamill in that? The big red one. Everyone's like, "Yo, put your eye out, kid." Marcel also watches Christmas Story every year. I seem to remember there being an old film of Scrooge, and I don't know if it's one that you guys have. I'm really blanking on this. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm blanking so hard on this. Oh, excuse me. Oh, look at that. It's after 11 o'clock. All right, I'm going to shut her down so I can. Uh, Bill Murray and Scrooge, great flick. Yeah, okay, that wasn't the one I was thinking about, but yep, Scrooge. Good old Bill Murray, eh? All right, peeps. Kutchway says that was the one my daughter and I watched together. I miss those days. I think I'm going to be missing those days at some point too. Russell says go till 11:15. Okay, that means I'll pour myself one more wee dram, and to finish the evening, I'm going to pour myself a dram of this too because I hate life. Jim says, "Hey, Destiny, hold on. We're going till 11:15. Don't walk out on us now. Don't you go. Please don't go. Don't go." I mean, that was what Casey and the Sunshine Band is most known for. That of all their works. So I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it does that. It just decides I've been on long enough. 11:15. I ain't gonna do you dirty. Jim is gonna pour his first. Okay, what are you pouring? Christy could quote the meaning of life. We're not going to turn this into a Monty Python evening, okay, people? So, what's interesting about this, if Paul's still around, Paul, you know what leche is like, right? It's got that the peat smoke, but it's also got like a burning rubber element, which is part of its which is part of the leche identity almost. And with this at 27, all of that is toned down a bit, and it's left it with this biscuity brioche kind of thing, or no, Christmas cake. Marcel's having a glass of wine, but then there really is a whole lot of spice on that. Like it really does feel like I just took a bite out of a Scotch bonnet. You know, David is asking if he should have PBR, PBR, or PBR. Well, if that's what you got, go for the second one. Like if you don't like spice, even if you do like spice, that might be a little too much. Although even with this, even though it feels like there's a hole being burned in my tongue, that's an improvement over when I first opened it. Russell says, "Oh no, Marcel is having a glass of wine. Oh no, someone get the defibrillator." Such a brat. Marcel, he's such a brat, isn't he? I mean, come on, really, Russell? Why gotta be a brat? Russell, brat. Like it's got a sweetness to it now that it didn't have when I first opened it. And that takes some work. It really does take some work. It makes you salivate too. It's astringent, and then this spice just comes roaring in. But underneath it is like a honey bun or a Christmas cake thing. Little fish, it says. I just had a cup of coffee an hour ago. Tuesday vibes. I got tea, brother. I got whiskey, sister. PBR's grandpa beer. Ooh, Jim is a youngling black and tan. Ah, Russell. The fire in my wood earth has come to life. It's giving off warmth and health. I will live longer because of this wood stuff. I am alive. Jerk. I got a wood stove and Jesse can't have one because he lives in Montreal and blah, 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 blah. David says he needs to get out and buy something decent. Bought the PBR late Sunday when we arrived in Florida. Russell says, get in the bathtub with that PBR. One thing I will say is that one of my favorite movie experiences is Studio Ghibli movies. I don't love all anime, although there's a lot that I have loved throughout the Akira for series, Ranma 1/2. But Studio Ghibli is my favorite animation studio of all time. I have liked almost everything they've made. I found that their latest full-length movie had a real sadness there was a real sad undertone. And some people say that the film was a message to his son to sort of not be too big for your britches, because his actual son, he directed an animated film, and there's no magic to it. not like the Ghibli films, you know? Studio Ghibli. Yep. David says, "We cleaned the bathtub today." Christy says, oh, damn it. Christy says to check out the Cujo 2026 retro gaming console. What the hell is that? The hell is that? Excuse me. 3 more minutes, people. Studio Ghibli. No Face is from a Ghibli film. Better a Pig Than a Fascist is from another Studio Ghibli film. Man, the light really isn't great on the back of this. And also, Ghibli has been the glue for several daddy-daughter nights. Fitzy says, we need a Christmas movie featuring a squirrel just for Jess. Only if that squirrel is dying by fire. I don't even hate squirrels. I don't want them to die. I don't. I just want them to leave my damn birdseed alone. Stupid squirrels. And now that I'm using that birdseed with the cayenne oil in it, they're not even bugging the birdseed anymore. They're not even bugging the birdseed anymore. What? They're not even stealing the birdseed anymore. So they're back to just being cute little furry guys. But I'm not going to feed the squirrels. I want a hula hoop. David says there's a squirrel on Christmas Vacation. Yeah, you're right. I think there is. I can't believe that there are 14 of you still watching. I feel like I've gotten really boring at this point in the night. I mean, look, it's 23:13. I should be shutting her down, getting ready for bed, doing my nightly journals and cleaning up this mess. And yet here I am, still talking because that's what I do for you guys. I give it all up for the art, for the conversation, for the mulled wine. No, but Destiny, I do a mulled cider that I think is really good. It's non-alcoholic. It's using that sort of dark apple juice, you know. Oh, look, someone got an ad. Russell posted a YouTube link for something. Hey, Austin, home my land. I'm only on for like another minute, dude. How you doing? We were talking about survival movies, and then we were talking about Christmas movies, and then we were talking about just good movies. But nice to see Austin popping in. Jim, you're talking exactly the same thing as me because you put cayenne in the chicken scratch to keep rodents out. The chickens still heat. Yeah, it's because birds don't have the same heat receptors. But I don't put the cayenne pepper like the powder in because if the wind blows it into the bird's eyes, they will definitely feel that. But yeah, the birdseed I use it's treated with a cayenne oil, so it gets the flavor, but not the powdery blow around in the wind element. Paul says, good night all. Bonne nuit, monsieur. À plus. Je vais plus tard. Russell says to Austin, give us your top 5 movies, then your top 5 Christmas movies. Man, it's 23:15, but you know. All right, Austin says you'll tune in next week. Fair enough. I'll see you then. Everyone's saying good night. Destiny says, take care, y'all. Until next week. Cheers, a bisou. All right, good night, everyone. Until next week, everybody, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Yeah, that's it.